Which boy should Janet follow? Troublemaker, the man of Glenn Bradley. Think I'll go for Nathaniel. And if I can make it there. And let's see. And yeah, I made it. To Nathaniel. I smile at Nathaniel and take a few quick steps to catch up. I'd love to see more of your home, if you don't mind. Well, I'm not much of a tour guide. The sitting room is this way. It is a pleasant place to relax. He leads the way into a bright, elegant room decorated with flowers. The one vase. And some flower patterns here and there. A group of photographs and silver frames cluster on a side table. I see images of Nathaniel, none too recent, and an older couple that must be his parents. But the largest picture of the group features a dog with a long red coat. Ah, you found Jake. What a pretty dog. Isn't he? He's an Irish setter, right? Raphael was telling me about him earlier. He said you sent the dog on vacation? I had Robert take him to the countryside for a week. Robert? My majordomo. Do you have a lot of servants? Just the one. I don't need much, usually. What about your parents? They don't live here anymore. This house can seem too quiet when Jake's not around, but with so many guests, that's not an issue. Do you have any pets? We have a golden cocker named Faya. He was the most beautiful puppy. I used to spend ages grooming him. He's getting pretty old now. He spends most of his time curled up on the couch. He's still in pretty good health except for some trouble with his ears. The vet puts a head cone on him to try and protect them, but then he keeps bumping into the couch leg with the cone. He sounds nice. Walking past me, he seats himself on the couch, back straight, legs together, a picture of elegance. Jake is quite rambunctious. I'm sure he's enjoying the chance to explore new surroundings and break a thing or two. Sometimes I even envy him that energy. Speaking of energy, this problem you're having with the security system, does that happen a lot? No. Aren't you worried? If strange lights and force fields suddenly pop up at my house, my mother would be in a frenzy. I have confidence that Linz will deal with it. I'm sorry about the trouble this is causing you. I'm sure you want to get back to your own home, but please don't worry. Everything will be fine. Oh, that's not fair. There's so much I want to ask, but it wouldn't be polite to push. Not after he's been so nice to me. And sip of my water. And continue. Now, would you care for a game of cards? Alright. Wonderful. Do you play écarté? I've never heard of that. What about gin rummy? I know many kinds of rummy, but not gin. Well, there must be something we both know the rules for. When I was a little boy, I played Rogue's Rummy. The rules are simple. If you don't know them, I can teach you quickly. Alright. I sit on the couch opposite from Nathaniel as he deftly shuffles a pack of cards and deals to each of us, then sets the remaining deck face down on the table. The object of the game is to get rid of all the cards in your hand. On your turn, you can play any group of 3 or more. That's 3 of the same rank or 3 ranks in sequence. If you don't have anything to play, you must draw a card, which he proceeds to do. Alright, then I play the 4 of hearts, the 5 of spades, and the 6 of clubs. Like that? Exactly. From his own hand he plays a jack, a queen, and a king, then adds a 7 to my earlier run of 3. You can add cards to any group that's already in play. You can even take cards from a group to form a new group, as long as all the cards that were in play when you started remain in play and are still in valid groups. That's where the roguery comes in. And a few cards later, I still have 7 to add to 2 of my own. I think I like this game. We're just getting started. We passed the afternoon playing cards. And the countdown. Late in the afternoon, we gather at the grand entrance. Everyone appears to be in good spirits, awaiting the resolution of our situation. Len steps forward and licks his lip in preparation to speak. We've been monitoring the problem for several hours now, and the output remains steady. Though there's no sign of the force fields growing, this shouldn't get any worse. And there was no possible heat damage in the surrounding frames. We experimented with introducing various objects. Physical contact so far has not produced any adverse reactions. The fields appear to act like a membrane, bowing outwards when a solid object is applied with force. However, small amounts of water. But you can get rid of them. Efforts to shut the overflow without disrupting the system integrity have lacked success. Oh, mouthful. Can't you just turn the whole thing off? Pull the plug? No. Turning off the power is not an option. Looking over at Bradley beside me, I notice he seems a little pale. Clammy, even. He has his arms folded around himself, hands tucked inside his jacket. Is he sick? What do you expect us to do? We have to get home. Bradley's not feeling well. Now this is the interesting part. I believe we would be able to bypass the barrier with Faraday shields. However, we don't have enough metal on hand to build a human-sized enclosure. An active electromagnetic field generator may be able to produce the same effect. I'll need to tune them to your own bioelectric aura. If you approach the field so that I can measure the discharge. No. Tiny beads of sweat are breaking out on his forehead. Well, we have to do something. This is how you do it, isn't it? Do what? This is how you kill them. What are you talking about? I think you may have a fever. I will not walk into your death trap. Suddenly he pulls a handgun from inside his jacket. You thought I was just another one of your victims, but I know what you are. Eek! I've waited years for this. Now tell me, where is she? What? How do you? Who? Don't pretend you don't know. All of you! He sweeps the gun around, pointing the gun around, pointing at each of the men in turn. Bradley, put the gun down. And then he swings it to aim at me. Shut up, Janet! How dare you speak to me like that? It's the basement, isn't it? Where you didn't want anyone to go? Well, we're all going to see it now. All of you, move! Frightened and confused, we are herded through the mansion. A nondescript door opens to reveal a dimly lit staircase leading down to the unknown basement. Looks like a stairs of an office building or something, or a skyscraper. We're all clustered together. Alban looks ready to spit nails. Nathan's eyes meet mine only with sad resignation. Linz and Raphael are in the lead, and Bradley is behind us all with the gun. The staircase descends shallowly, then turns for another descent. Down and around and down. I cannot see where it ends. Suddenly there's a flashlight. With a strangled squawk, Bradley stumbles backwards, his weapon arm swinging up wildly. Quick as a flash, Alban's fist intersects with Bradley's jaw. Nathaniel grabs my arm and pulls me aside as Lynn charges back to join the fray. And that timer. Come on, give me an excuse. You look better with 2 black eyes. Bastard. Raphael, bring me my handcuffs. Yes, sir. I'm not going anywhere. No, you're not. You're not going to hurt him, are you? That's up to him. Should we chain her up too? Me? Why me? I didn't do anything. You came here with him. You have to know what he was planning. I still don't know what he was planning. I have no idea what's going on. Janet hasn't caused any harm. She deserves the benefit of the doubt. Raphael returns with a pair of handcuffs, and Lynn fastens Bradley's hand behind him, with the cuff chain looped through the back of the chair. Apparently this isn't his first time putting someone in restraints. Why don't you just go ahead and kill me? You're the one who was waving the gun around. No one is killing anyone. Let's start at the beginning. Why were you carrying a gun? To defend myself from you. Me? Or Lynn's? Or who? All of you. Whichever of you is responsible for the murders. What murders? 5 years ago, a college girl disappeared from this area. 5 years before that, another girl disappeared. And before that, and before that. I never heard about any missing persons near here. Even if that's true, why would you think we had anything to do with it? Just because people went missing in this general area? Not this general area, this house! How would you know that? Because the last one was my sister. He has a sister? I was the last person to hear from her alive. She called me when her car broke down. She described where she was and the house she could see up ahead, and that she was planning to ask them for help. And then, she was gone. This is ridiculous. 25 years ago, most of you weren't even born. Bradley laughs. It's not a pleasant sound. It gets better. This house doesn't exist. What? I spent months looking for this house. The police said I must have had the details wrong. They gave up, but I looked harder. That was when I found out about the 5-year pattern. So I knew I needed a girl, and I knew I had to wait. Until now, all this year, I've been looking for you, and this house was not here. But now I finally found you. That's complete nonsense. It might be true. Everyone turns to stare at me. All year, Bradley's been asking out different girls. It's always just one date, and he always drives. He never makes a move, like he's barely interested in the girls at all. We thought he was just looking for the right girl, but he could have been looking for this house. That means... Burning with furious realization, I slip off my loafer and hurl it at his head. You manipulative, scheming, lying jackass! You used me as bait! I don't understand. Don't listen to them. They're just trying to confuse you. If it's all lies, then what are you hiding in the basement? The bodies? Please, stop this. He shakes his head sadly. We need some time to talk. We can't trust you on your own after you've attacked us, but we can't leave you chained to a chair forever either. Lock them in a room, both of them. Will she be safe with him? Ha! Will he be safe with me? That too. Separate rooms, then. They lead me back to the room I slept in last night, taking Bradley somewhere else. We'll be back, I promise. And then they lock me in, and I am left here alone. Pressing my ear to the door, I can faintly hear voices far away, but I can't make out anything that they're saying. This plain and simple room, so convenient before, suddenly feels like a prison. There's absolutely nothing for me to do except pace and worry. All that time last night, sitting in the restaurant, driving in his car, Bradley had a gun? I was right next to something that could easily have killed me, and I didn't even know it. He's gone crazy. No, he must have been crazy for a long time. All those girls, he could have driven each of them to a different location, looking for the phantom house in his head. There's no way that this house wasn't here. But at the same time, he's right. The people in this house are clearly up to something. Lynn's especially. Why are they all here? What are they doing? What are they going to do with us? Just when I begin to feel that they have forgotten me entirely, I hear a key rattling in the lock. Hello again. I'm sorry about all this. I know it's not your fault. You were just as surprised by Bradley's actions as we were. What's going on? What are you going to do with him? That is the problem. I would like to turn him over to the police, but as you know, the phones aren't working. And even if we call, the force fields. So you're just going to keep us here? Lens is still working on solutions. I need to go home now! I have a paper to write. I have chem exercises to finish. Finding a way to get you through the field is our top priority. If that were really true, they would just turn off the power and let me go. For some reason, they don't think that's an option. You are still my guest. You're free to go about the house. Just please, be careful. I'm always careful. He looks at me for a long moment, then turns and walks away. So, I'm not a prisoner, except that I am, just with a bigger prison. But they're trapped in this house as well. I walk out of the bedroom and into the hallway. There's no sign of anyone. There must be some kind of way out of here. Janet? Huh? There's a thumping noise, and one of the doors shivers. In here! I'm locked in! Well, good. Please, you have to listen to me. You're my only hope. Should Janet hear him out?